Hello and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. I'm John Karabatsis and I'll be your host for this episode. Thanks for joining us today. If you're joining the Profit Break for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you'll be on your way to improving profitability. Well, laser tag within entertainment facilities has become an important component of the brand experience and profitability for many facilities. But how do you best leverage laser tag within the center to maximize overall revenue and profitability? Our guest today is going to help answer that very question and will be leading an educational session at Bowl Expo in Orlando, Florida on the topic. Chris Epstein is the Business Development Officer for Smart by Partner Laser Force International. Chris is here to share a sneak peek of his session on strategies to increasing laser tag traffic, profitability, and synergy within your center. Chris, welcome back to the studio.
JK, thanks for having me back.
Thank you for joining us. So I'm intrigued. I'm excited to hear your presentation that's coming up in Orlando. So tell us first, though, who should go to this? Who should be in the audience when you're giving your talk?
Well, first of all, I think any site that is already operating bowling and laser tag, right? That's a great opportunity to go in there and just kind of see, the trends around and what everybody else is doing. Acquire some operational knowledge, some things like that. Just some great background information, a couple benchmarks, things like that. And then on top of that, I think anybody that is currently an operator, a decision maker, and is thinking about, either changing an attraction out or adding an attraction in, because I can really kind of break down, what to expect if you're going to be adding laser tag to an existing site. And then, hopefully anybody else that, is even just kind of pondering maybe further down the road, it might be a great time to just come in and, just say, hey, like, what is laser tag, right? What is it? So I think I'll capture a wide range of audience, but, definitely if you're currently running it or plan to in the near term.
I mean, it can be such a powerful attraction when you add it to an existing attraction like bowling, those synergies.
Yes.
So you're going to help us take advantage of that. All right, so let's back up a little bit, and maybe you can give us an update on the laser tag and how it's going for the past year or so. What has there been growth? Are the numbers back to where they were before the pandemic hit? Kind of give us an update.
Yeah, and I think that's a question around the industry in all sectors and attractions. The biggest thing I would say is in 2022 compared to 2021. So if we look at the first 6 months in 2021, the first 6 months in 2022, we're looking at around a 30% increase in laser tag traffic, right? Games played. And a lot of that, of course, is 2021. We were still kind of reopening. There was some pent-up demand coming out. So some of those variables, you would say, okay, was it just a one-off, or is this the trend? So I went back and I looked at 2019, pre-pandemic, and I said, what about the first 6 months, the first half of the year 2019? Let's compare that to the first half in 2022. And I actually found it was almost 50%. So it was near 48% increase in the traffic.
Wow.
For laser tag, right? Okay. So that's a great.
That's a positive for the industry. Wow.
It was
a powerful number.
Powerful number, and and I think that's just going to continue trending up.
Okay, so you think that's going to keep trending up? We haven't leveled off just yet, right? So I mean, what in the short term, the economy's starting to shift.
Yes.
Prices are up everywhere. It's still hard to get staff. I mean, in the short term, what do you see happening with laser tag?
So in the short term, 2023, so far so good. I think they'll be a little bit more volatile. I think 2022, everybody was feeling very confident. Things were going really well. We just kind of looked at some of the numbers. But I do believe in 2023, to kind of look forward, sometimes you got to look back. So if we kind of look back to 2008, 2009, and that was kind of what you're saying a little bit, we had some headwinds, some macro factors as far as the economy. But if you kind of look back and you talk to people, operators then, you can actually feel pretty confident. This sector is actually very resilient. And there's 3 pieces of evidence that I would attribute to this. And you could look back on those 3 pieces and say, hey, like, we're going to be okay. Like, it's going to be a good year, even if it's a little more volatile than 2022. And the first thing, and I think is the most important, is bowling, for example, laser tag, for example. You can't really replicate that at home, right? You need to go to a facility or a center to enjoy those attractions. right? Number two would be, I think this was trending before the pandemic, but I think it further reinforced this, is we really, as customers and as people, we enjoy going out and spending time with people and having fun. And I think that's something we're okay with spending money on, right? Having fun and going out and doing those social things with each other. And then number three, of course, is, they're definitely, you might have some things that are cut back. For example, maybe going out to eat, dining out, things like that, traveling. But you're still going to, you may not travel, but you're going to still go enjoy your bowling league or go play some laser tag, right? Those things actually may become more important now because you aren't going to go take that trip, right? So I think if you kind of look back to 08 and 09 and you look at those three pieces of evidence, you should have a very strong feeling of confidence moving forward.
That people are just looking to get back to social. That social experience is so important.
It is.
And laser tag and bowling are naturals for that. They get that competitive, cooperative, social experience.
Until it gets competitive.
It can be friendly competitive, but you know what? It's friendly competitive. We'll say that. Just like bowling. So there's so many commonalities between the two, which is why the synergies seem to be so well. But as with any marriage, are there any challenges or negatives to the bowling laser tag synergy?
I would say no. There's not a lot of negatives. Now, there are some challenges, but I would say the main challenge is going to be space allocation, right? Now, the good news is, I don't know if you heard, there's a show called Profit Break that is going to answer all those questions and address all those challenges, right? So yes. So the good news is, all those challenges and things like that. There's a lot of information out there that you can kind of go into and see the space allocation and what works for you. Outside of that, I really don't see there much of a negative or hardship or challenge. In fact, I think, like you said, it's the perfect pairing. They go together very well. The synergy is amazing. If you're operating a primary bowling facility, bowling is always going to be the sun in that universe. Everything's revolving around it. But laser tag is just going to be fantastic to pair. I think it's safe to say that as a operator, you are excited when you sell out all your lanes. You're happy. It's a great feeling. What's not a great feeling, though, JK, is when you're completely booked and people are coming in, you have customers coming in, and you're like, I'm sorry, lanes are full. It's going to be at least an hour and a half, and they're kind of turned away, right? That's not a good feeling, and I think that's where laser tag shines. Instead of saying, hey, sorry guys, we're booked, you say, hey, look, I'll sign you guys up. It's an hour wait, but in the meantime, guess what? Go play some laser tag. And since all our lanes are full, we're running a special. Have fun with it. Maybe a promotion, half off laser tag until your lane's ready. So you're, I don't think it's a challenge or hardship. I think it's a positive. I think there's synergy there, and perfect pairing.
What a great way to turn that lemon into lemonade. You've got somebody that's disappointed, and all of a sudden now you're their hero because you've given them something free to experience a session, and you've advertised your laser tag too.
Exactly. You're not losing, that revenue's not walking out the door anymore and going somewhere else because you're full. They're staying in your site, so you're keeping it, and you're adding additional revenue because they're going to play laser tag.
So often with marketing now, it's people want give them something before you ask for something in return. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're giving them something. Say, try it out. We know you're going to love it.
And then they'll probably be thirsty from running around in that laser tag arena and need to hit the snack bar, and refuel, right? So.
Amazing how that works. All right, so you touched on space allocation. So we're going to have some people that are in the audience and some that are watching the show today that don't have laser tag yet.
Right.
Okay, so just ballpark, because I know you'll have you'll provide the opportunity at your session for people to ask more specific questions. But if somebody's looking for a complete installation, scratch, just starting from scratch all the way to open it, what kind of range are they looking at as far as their costs and ROI, and how long should that take to pay back?
So do you want the good news or the bad news first?
Well, let's go with bad news first.
Bad news first? Okay. So the bad news is the initial cost is high, right? It's an attraction that you do need to make that initial investment in. With that being said, if you're having an existing site, you're looking at around $100,000 to $250,000. Okay, so that's the bad news.
Okay.
You ready for the good news?
Absolutely.
Okay, the good news is the ROI on laser tag's great. Okay, good attractions are usually between 18 to 24 months. Laser tag, well-run operation can be as soon as 12 months. And 18 months is a really good benchmark. So within a year to a year and a half, you can have that full ROI. Your return is back, and once that's done, it's a very cost-efficient attraction to run. I'll definitely touch on labor and things like that at Bowl Expo, and we can kind of get into that there and very deep dive into that. But its maintenance is going to be low. It's going to be a very easy and cost-efficient attraction to run.
And when you have that additional attraction in there, and you're talking about cross-training, it gives you that opportunity for that. It's so hard to get help. Plus, it keeps your staff engaged too. They know they can learn something new. They can learn a new trade, new talent, or whatever. So that's a win-win, and that's great because it sounds like a lot of money, but do the math, think it through. What's the long-term implication of it? Which I think is what you're going to touch on. Okay. All right. What about those bowling operators that have installed laser tag and they're not quite having the success that they had hoped for? I know you're going to drill down into it at the session, but what kind of advice can you give to them?
So, fortunately, this is more of an uncommon occurrence than common, but it does happen. You invest your time and energy and money into opening a laser tag attraction, and it's not quite hitting that ROI or generating that revenue, kind of what we were talking about earlier. It's not doing those things for you, and it can be disheartening. But the good news is, a lot of times it's not necessarily the attraction itself, it's the operations, advertising, marketing around the attraction. It's not necessarily the laser tag, it's kind of everything in orbit around it. Classic example, if you've been operating a bowling site for 25 years, and one day you flip the switch and like, we have laser tag now. Well, you got to go, and exactly what we're talking about with staff, kind of retrain the way the staff thinks about it. You need to kind of retrain the way your managers think about it, retrain the way your community kind of thinks about your site. You have to go back and revisit your budgets, and you have to say, okay, we need to reallocate this marketing and this advertising to laser tag now, right? Especially in the initial stages. And I'm definitely going to kind of talk about best practices and how to handle that and kind of get ahead of all those things. So I think that's usually when people aren't having the success that they're hoping for and generating that kind of revenue early. It's not the attraction, it's kind of everything around the attraction. And we'll definitely talk about those things at Bowl Expo.
Okay. We got time for one more question.
Sure.
What are some of the newer trends that are coming for laser tag? I mean, what does the future look like?
Sure. The future is exciting. Laser tag has always been this like really fun experience, and now it's becoming more gamified. Like this cross between a video game, virtual reality, laser tag. It's all kind of coming together. And one of the greatest examples of this is integrating with redemption. So a lot of laser tag sites and bowling sites, they have redemption counters, right? If you go to a lot of these bowling sites, they have the redemption counter, and generally all that redemption points and activity is centered around the arcade. So one of the things we're seeing in laser tag is this push into redemption, right? So you can now go play laser tag, and you get to earn some points towards redemption and redeem them. And one of the things I think is really cool, and shout out to BPAA and Profit Break and you guys, the Smart Buy program, we Laser Force were able to kind of team up and talk with Redemption Plus, and shout out to Megan. We're going to be kind of working on some cool rollout with redemption counter, like toys and glow in the dark and kind of some laser tag adjacent and things like that you would enjoy while playing laser tag that you can redeem at the counter, and then you can earn those points to redeem those things playing laser tag.
So you're truly integrating
that
right,
with
the game room and the center as a
yes,
whole.
And just kind of bringing it all together and just giving you one more reason to go play laser tag.
That's a great next step. That's one of those, why didn't we do that before?
Yeah, I think customers are going to really enjoy it, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And then at the show, obviously, you guys will have a booth there. Redemption Plus will have
of
a
course.
booth. They can come and see you and talk.
Wouldn't miss it.
Awesome. All right. Well, Chris, thank you. Thank you. You're a bundle of knowledge as usual. Yeah, I love your passion for the industry, and we're looking forward to seeing you at Bowl Expo.
Thanks for having me, JK.
So don't miss the opportunity to learn about improving your bottom line with laser tag. Be sure to attend Chris's Bowl Expo session on Tuesday, June 27th in Orlando, Florida. As we wrap up another edition of the Bowl University Profit Break, remember that when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. We look forward to seeing you next time for another great episode. If you have any questions about today's show or would like additional information, you can reach us anytime at education@bpaa.com. Also, all previous Profit Break episodes are available 24/7 for you and your team to watch at bowlinguniversity.net. Plus, new Profit Break episodes are available every month, so mark your calendar, watch your email, join us on Facebook to hear about the latest episodes. Until then, I'm John Karabatsis, and do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.